Well, hello, and welcome back, y'all. Today I decided to do something a little bit different. I realized, I think it was last night, that I hadn't built a community lot in a really long time. I've been doing a lot of home builds, and I wanted to do something a little bit different so that I don't get bored of making the same thing over and over and over again, and so that you don't get bored watching the same thing over and over again, because not everybody wants a home build. You know, some people want a community build, something that they're unable or don't want to make or aren't good at. I'm not good at it. Hopefully this gives you a good baseline to recreate it or even just renovate it. It's a small community build. It's not for a big city, it's for a small town. There's not going to be a lot of Sims here. I think there's enough for 6 skill or 6 Sims that will be using the skill items. And then you have room for 9 Sims to sit at the cafe. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, is it 18? That's the max on a lot? Or 8? I think it's 18. Anyway, point is, it's not going to be a hustle and bustle like the city. It's just going to be a very quiet, peaceful little community building that everybody can go to whenever they want. It is open 24/7. I think everything is open 24/7 in The Sims. But anywho, once I got the shell of it more or less laid out, I did go in and start working on the layout inside and kind of trying to determine how I wanted to put it together. I did not have in mind to really do a cafe when you first walked in. That was kind of an afterthought once I got going and started placing some things down. But once I decided that was going to be the cafe, that was it. I was like, yep, that's the cafe. I want to say that the Comfy Gamer was also a last minute decision. Once I decided on the kits that were going to be used in here, I did have a pretty good idea of what I had in mind as to what I was going to do. Things changed as I went along. My thoughts were changing. I had an idea, but that idea does tend to change quite often, as I'm sure any of you who build do as well. If you don't, then you're either lying or you are one of the best builders out there. I'm probably going to go with option number 2, at least better than me. Anywho, that doesn't matter. I know I'm not the best, and that's okay. I don't care. I just have fun, and that's what matters. There's several builders out there that I'm like, what are they thinking? Why would they do that? That's so weird. But you know what? That's okay. It can be weird. As long as you're enjoying what you're doing, that's all that matters. Anyway, as soon as I started laying down some of the placement pieces and determining how big some of the rooms were going to be, after I started doing the layout, I realized I could make some of these rooms a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. And that's what I did. Adjusted things as I went. I should have waited to do the roof for the last, but I didn't. I couldn't wait. I had to play with the roof. I'm actually enjoying playing with the roofs, because then when I'm done with it, if it's a weird build, I feel so accomplished and be like, oh my god, I did the roof. I can't believe I did the roof. This is such a weird build. It's such a weird layout, but I made it work. Yay! It makes me feel good. I feel accomplished. So yeah, that was fun. I actually wanted to do that for once. I will say, though, that building a community build can sometimes be a little bit easier because you don't have to really worry as much for the landscaping as you would for a home. And when I say landscaping, I just mean the outside. Because with the home, you want to have, the flowers, everything's so pretty, and then you want to make sure you have activity and skill items outside, and that it's family friendly and all of this, that, and the other. So, yeah. Doing a community build, you don't have to worry about that. You just have to worry about the landscaping and not so much about everything else. But some will say that the landscaping is the harder part. I think the landscaping is the easier part. It's definitely more fun for me. Anyway, we're about ready to get into the full final build. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Make sure you hit like, comment, subscribe. Just blink. Okie dokie. We are all done, y'all. This came out so fun. This little community building for a little town. I think it looks great. Here is the full exterior. I will go in detail as we get going. I had to have something for the little kiddos too, so yeah. But again, just a small little community building for a small little community. Here's window 1 to show there's woodworking in here, and window 2 to show there's art in here. Hee hee. I think this is going to be fun. Okay, let me show you. You walk in through the door, and this is your cafe area. So you've got the red chairs with the white tables. I think it looks really cute. I love the little tablecloths. We've got a few things on the walls. We've got your cafe bar over here, which looks like it's full of some really great foods, little snacks that you can have with an espresso machine. So maybe you're just waiting on your friend or your family member to finish crafting whatever they're crafting or doing, and you can sit out here and have a little snack while you wait. Or when you're both done, you can come out here and have a little snack just to say, hey, we done good today, folks. We done good. I do have music up here. This one is the Cozy Bistro kit and base game, of course. I don't think that the curtains are either. I think those are another pack. I can't remember which, but I needed something like that, like blackout curtains or something to put for the windows. So we go in this room, and this one was the bathroom. So very simple, nothing in here really, just a sink and a toilet, and you can close the curtain if you have to go poo. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to remind you to hit that like button, leave your comments, questions, and suggestions down below, hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget that notification bell. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. And then we go through here, through this cool archway that I did. This, as I did before, I placed the large archway first, and then I placed the small archway in the middle. And your Sims will walk right through the middle archway. So, yay! There isn't a lot of decor in this hallway. I did have an overhead light, a pendant light or whatever up here, but I noticed at nighttime this corner over here was very dark. Very, very dark. So I took the ceiling light out and put in some sconces above each of the doors. So if you're here at night, you can find the door you're looking for. I sound like a Jedi. You will find the door you're looking for. Anyway, this locker over here is, you know, you bring your purse or snacks or whatever, you can stick it in this locker so that it's kept safe and you don't have to take it from place to place. If we go through, oh wait, I'm turned around. Hold on. That's the bathroom. This door. Yes. This is our gaming room. So we have 2 gaming tables, 2 gaming desks, and they bring their own controller headsets, their own games, maybe a book if you want to read. There's some decor up there. The computers are both the same. This whole room is comfy gamer with some base game decor. Nothing spectacular. I mean, this isn't a big, huge build. This isn't anything that, you know, to write home about basically, but it's something that the neighborhood needed and the city obliged, or the town obliged, because it's a small town. This here is the art room. Oh man, my bush just clipped through. Dang it, I gotta fix that. So we got the backdrop there, plenty of bright light in here so you can get some good painting done, and all your amenities back here in the back. Yeah, it's got paint splotches all over it, but that's okay. That's what happens in an art room, right? Right. I gotta fix those bushes. The 2 painting easels facing your artwork right there that you have to paint. You can replace those items with something else, and you can do a paint by reference. So you can put whatever you want on those. Take whatever's on there and put whatever else you want on top, and your Sims can paint whatever. That's one thing that I really, really like. The painting from reference thing. I like that. But this is the Artist Studio kit. Really cool. Love the little bit of paint on the floor there. Different colors, different paints, little paint cart. And I wanted white walls, but I didn't want like flat white walls, so I used these instead. And then there's some sketches that folks have done over time and ideas, like an idea mood board kind of thing. And then this back here, this back door goes into the woodworking, which is mostly restoration workshop. And I did have initially like a half wall where these fences are. I did have a half wall, but I thought reality-wise, that's kind of silly because somebody can just hop the wall and take all the tools and everything that's here. So I was like, well, yeah, but I want it open because there's so much sanding and woodworking up here. You want it to be open to the air. Then I remembered I have these. So I put these up and I thought it was the perfect solution. Now the other perfect solution I have is this floor fan. Perfect. If you're woodworking, if you're cutting, if you're making sawdust and whatnot, and you turn that fan on, it's going to go right out. Well, it might hit the bushes a little, but that's okay. But it's going to go off the table and over there. I did have to kind of play with this a little bit to figure out how I wanted the layout to be, because I wanted it to be functional. I wanted it to make sense. I mean, I can put them anywhere I want, but I kind of like them like that. and everything is laid out perfectly nice. Perfectly perfect in every perfect way. Little place to sit if, let's say, you bring your kiddo or something and he's getting bored or getting tired and you're almost done. Your little kiddo can sit right there. In reality, I don't know about Simality if that works, but you know, you can try. I would assume that it might. It's autonomy, I guess, or make the kids sit down. But this is mostly for adults, but I believe as a child, I think it's a child you can start painting and doing everything, I think, except for the woodworking. I'm not sure. Correct me on that if I am wrong, but they also have their own little sink back here as well. So there's no food or anything. There's no books. I didn't want them to start reading books and end up with books all over the place. There's no kitchen, so they're not going to cook anything and leave dirty dishes all over the place. This is just a place for, let's say mom's over here painting, dad's over there doing woodworking, and then the kids in here playing on the computer. It gives them something to do. I think this would be really fun for like a business and hobby type thing where you can put a, what do you call it? Crap, I forgot what it's called, but the little thing that you set down that they check in at. You can put it right here or over there, or you can even put it outside, but they'll check in and they can come in and do one of the three things. I don't think that's a bad idea. So you got the one, I think we've looked at this one, yeah, there's this bathroom, and then back through this doorway you have this bathroom. So they're basically identical. Nothing unusual, nothing different, nothing special. And again, the hallway is very plain. But I kind of like it that way because what you're here for is behind door number 1, 2, or 3, or archway number 1. So that's it. There's really not much to this one. It's pretty simple build. I'll show you top down. Here's the final layout. So there's your cozy bistro, artist studio, restoration workshop, and comfy gamer. And then base game throughout. Coffee bar is none of the kits, and it is not base game, so you may have to replace that with something else if you don't have get together. I think that's the only other thing. Everything else is from the kits or base game. And the curtains as well. So really, if you're missing anything, it's going to be an easy replacement if you really want to do that. Now out back, I wanted to fill in the backyard, but I didn't want to like fence it off or anything like that because it is a community build. It isn't a home. So I added some monkey bars here for the kiddos and a telescope for somebody or anybody to be able to observe the sky while other people are inside, or if you're just passing by, you know, whatever. I think that's how it works in The Sims. If you're passing by a community lot, I believe you can access the stuff, because you can access anything inside, you can also access the stuff outside. But I don't know if you have to actually be at that lot, like travel there to be able to use these items. If you do, then so be it. You just click it and it'll give you a little car icon that says travel. There you go. The more you know. Anywho, I hope this was a little bit of an inspiration for you. I hope that you can use this in your gameplay if you want a community building that has some skill items in it that will be helpful to your gameplay if you raise your skills and your sim doesn't have the money to purchase the items needed for their skill gain. I think that this would be cute. It's not going to be busy. You know, you've got 2 easels, 2 woodworking tables, and 2 computers. So the only thing that you may have to be concerned about, because most Sims will flock to the computer, so you may have to kick somebody out of the chair if you want to play games or something. At least that's what's happened with me. I don't know if it happens to everybody or if I'm just the lucky one. Who knows? But I'm sure I'm not the only one. Anywho, here it is. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's not a big thing, a big build or anything like that, but it's not meant to be. Do make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, y'all, have fun.